Okay, so to solve that equation, so here we go. We got a parallel and perpendicular lines. So example 1, let me pull that up. So example 1, if given the equation 3x plus 4y equals 12, find the slope of that line, a parallel slope, and a perpendicular slope. So when you do this, what you do first? So I would stop the video and see if you can do the problem. Then check to see if you did it right. There's other ways to do it, but I'll show you one method. So we've got the equation 3x plus 4y equals 12. Then I would solve for y. We want to put it in this form, y equals mx plus b, because m is always your slope. But you have to have y by itself to do that. So if you solve for y, I would subtract 3x. Hopefully you did that. And so 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 12. Then you got 4 times y, so the opposite of that is to divide everything by 4. Whatever you do to one thing, you do to all. And so y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 3. So that means my slope is negative 3/4. So the slope of that line is negative 3/4. For the equation to be parallel, so a parallel slopes are always identical, so that would also be negative 3/4. And then your perpendicular slope is always if you flip it and change the sign. So that would be 4/3, positive 4/3. And so that's how you'd find the 3 slopes that you would need for that. And if you want a different video on why that is, this is just the algorithm. I've made other videos for that. So here's another problem. So given the equation of a line that's x minus 4y equals 12, find the equation of the line that is parallel to this line and passes through the point 3, negative 4. So I'm going to show you graphically first, because I think that's important to be able to graph it. And so there's my equation. I need to get my point. 3, negative 4. So let me graph that point first. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your first point. And then solve for, I like to solve for y up here to graph these things. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. Always get y by itself. It just makes it easier to graph if you do that. Not always, but most of the time. Then you divide by negative 4. Hopefully you've done this 1,000 times, so it's not that big a deal. And so y is equal to 1/4 x minus 3. And so if you graph that, this is the trick for graphing it. You would go to negative 3, because that's your y-intercept, and make a point. I'll do it in red. So go down 3. 1, 2, 3. There's your y-intercept. And then your slope is 1/4, which is up 1, right 4. Up 1, right 4. Up 1, right 4. So right there. And there's the line. That's the original line. So we wanted a line that's parallel to that through the point. And I'll do it in green. So here's my point. 3, 4. And so we would go up 1, right 4. Just like the other one. And it makes a parallel line. Then down 1, left 4. And there's your line that's hopefully parallel. It is. It's just I didn't draw it very straight. And then, so the equation, we want the equation of this line. Well, right now it passes through, the y-intercept's kind of a fractional number. So right now we could just make a guess. So I'm guessing that the equation is y equals 1/4 x. Oh, what does that look like? 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 minus 4 3/4. But I don't know for sure. So that's a guess right now. To find out exactly what we need to do, we know the slope of your parallel equation is 1/4. So, and I always like using the point slope form of the equation, which is this. Because if you have the slope memorized, it's easy to do the slope, point slope form. So we know our slope is 1/4. So that's going to go in place of the m there. We know our point. I forgot my point already. 3, -4. So I'm going to take 3, -4 and put it in here. Y is -4, so that goes here. X is 3, so it goes there. And so you'd have y minus a -4 over x minus 3 equals 1/4. And if we solve that, we'll get the equation for y. Well, minus a negative is plus a positive, and cross multiply. So 4 times y plus 4 is 4y plus 16. 1 times x minus 3 is equal to x minus 3. And then just keep on solving. So minus 16, minus 16. And so 4y equals x minus 19. And then you divide by 4. And so y is equal to 1/4 x minus 19/4 would be 4 3/4. That was right.
That's nasty.
So my guess was correct. Now, hold on here. So one last thing is, this is slope-intercept form. Most of your tests ask for it in standard form, which is standard form is, whoop, that's an A, ax plus by equals c. So if you want it in standard form, you just go back to this point and move your x over and move your 16 over. So let me just erase this quick and show you the standard form. So you just go back to that point, you still cross multiply and everything, and I'm going to subtract x, and so you'd have -x plus 4y plus 16 equals -3, and then subtract the 16. And so you'd have -x plus 4y equals -19, and that's the standard form. They're the same equation. If that negative out in front bothers you, it bothers me for some reason, I'm going to multiply the whole equation by -1, so x minus 4y equals positive 19. And there's your standard form. All three of those would work for your equation of a line. If they want it in standard form, there it is.